What's up, you guys? Welcome to a new Lightshare episode. Today, we're back with Adrian and Andre, and we're going to be reviewing some more portfolios for you guys, kind of break down each one that we have here, and give some feedback. So, just to see what's good, what's wrong with it, what can improve, and what we can make better. So, we'll start with Proxy Joy. It's one of the portfolios I was sent in. Overall, what do you guys think about it? Just from first glance.
I think it's colorful. So it's pretty cool looking. Has some props, I see, vehicles, characters, environments, a little bit of everything. Even an interior shot there in black and white.
Yeah, I think if we're going to jump straight into what to fix, that would be my first thing, right? I don't know what you want to do when I look at that portfolio. Like the fact that you have a little bit of everything. If it was like this super amazing professional portfolio where every single piece is a masterpiece, I don't mind having a lot of different subjects and a lot of different things being done masterfully. But since you do have some issues with fundamentals, I think the fact that you show that you are struggling with fundamentals in multiple different areas kind of makes it look a little bit too scattered and not actually aimed at anything in particular.
Because they don't seem to belong to the same project either, right? You have some sci-fi, hard surface stuff, and then you have some medieval fantasy. I don't know, like it's a little bit all over the place in that way. But what would you say if someone actually wants to be that scattered, to cover everything?
I would say do like a world building project, because you can explore multiple different props, environments, characters, while still in that same world.
Let's
you're
assume
doing everything, but
let's assume that that's the point here, because we haven't been given any specific, feedback question on this. He just shared his portfolio and that's it, right? What would you say to that? What if this was the point? I want to build this world building project, and this is what I'm making right now.
So the first thing I would say is do a lot more sketches. Because what I see a lot in that portfolio is pieces that look like they take quite a while for this person to make. And the whole idea of world building is imagining a bunch of stuff. So when you're thinking about someone who's super specialist in one thing, and they do masterpiece after masterpiece of that subject matter, those pieces, they tend to be powerful in terms of quality, right? So they don't need as many. But if we're talking about someone who wants to be a world builder, their power is on the ideas that they have. So the volume of ideas and how unique those ideas are would be much more important than necessarily the finished quality of those ideas. So I would strive to have the most amount of ideas per subject matter possible, and I would go for a quicker level of finish, if that makes sense. So it's not necessarily unrefined. It's just using techniques that would allow you to show your idea quickly without actually spending a ton of time on it. Because if I look at the let's say the three initial pieces over there, the top left, they do look like they took quite a while for this person to make. But the ones that call me the most attention for me, particularly in terms of quality, are exactly like the black and white sketches. And I don't assume those took more time than the paintings.
Yeah, I'll try
he has
to
some
open them so we can see.
Yeah,
he's got
that
some of these cool. Call out sheets, which are good. It's good to have these, in case an art director asks you to what's your creative brain like? You have these sketches, but then you need some pieces that kind of draw you in, pull you into the portfolio. And by first glance, I think this kind of distracts it. You have boom, 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 and then this. So that kind of stops the rhythm really hard. on the portfolio.
Yeah, I think having a one single project that like ties everything together would help in that case, because then you can put like all of the beautiful paintings on top, and then afterwards, like you transition it right from beautiful paintings to like single renders of, let's say, characters or vehicles or whatever, and then into the sketches.
That's what I would say. You know, like I was gonna say,
well.
unifying the theme should really help with that, because you can still cover a whole range of different, let's say, props or vehicles or characters or different subject matter within the same theme, which belongs to your world, your IP and stuff. That would be cool.
Can I pull up like an example, or
I don't know,
like
Dom,
a reference?
Can you?
If you guys are done with
no, so I just have like one extra thing to say. Like if you're looking at the portfolio there, I don't want to overlook the fact that you do have a lot of growth to be had in terms of fundamentals. Like your rendering is not quite there. Your understanding of atmospheric perspective is not quite there. Your understanding of anatomy is not quite there. What I would do in that case, if you want to do like a multitude of various pieces, I would always keep one reference of level of finish that you want to achieve right next to your piece. And I would not stop working on that piece until you reach that level of quality of finish. So having a benchmark to what you want to achieve will help you. Now, of course, that you need to study those fundamentals on your own time as well, like as a separate thing, rather than just like, oh, I'm working on this portfolio piece. I do think that you need that mileage and that practice on your own time. But if you're aiming to finish something, I would definitely keep a benchmark right next to it, just because it keeps you aimed, and looking at things side by side will help you understand what's missing from yours. So I know that we are talking a lot about generalized portfolio advice, how to like frame it in a way that you look more professional and all, but none of that will help if your fundamentals are not strong enough. So let's not like completely dismiss that, right? Like I think we can all see that a couple of his fundamentals need work. So
yeah. Like some composition, mood, atmosphere.
You know, I think some of the best work is like these interior shots. They look really cool. Like Dom, if you want, you can click on that interior tavern or like Viking looking building, the black and white. Yeah, you can click on it.
Oh yeah, I think that's the best one out of the entire portfolio.
Yeah.
Open his art station.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is cool.
Yeah, but keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. There's more. You see these type of shots?
Yeah,
because I think they show
each
a lot
of these
more...
make for a single piece. Like you don't need to put all of them in the same post.
Yeah, because they're pretty unrelated, right? But I guess maybe his aim with this was to show interior shots from different projects, maybe. But it's all interior, right? So what we're saying is like probably you should make one for this house only. Show us the house from outside, from the inside, then put it on one of those nice paintings, and that would be one project, for instance.
And also like a beauty shot, I think would help, of like this place. So you have all the call-out sheets.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
With the nice composition and stuff. Then you probably add some storytelling. Maybe you put some characters around. It's up to you. But like this would be the theme. Like in this case, I don't know, Viking village or something like that. You know, this is the hero's house or something.
Yeah, even if you don't put like in a keyframe or anything, just like a beauty shot of it, a little bit of a storytelling would be enough. Because what you want to show, is that you can design stuff, right? Like that's the point. And designing it means like, from the outside, from inside, like the usability and all of that. So
this is nice too. Like to have this wide shot. It kind of depicts a little bit of the size of the area in a way. But then as you zoom in, you keep designing things from up close. Like for instance, that ship or the docks or one of those houses, like the way we've seen the Viking house. and stuff like that. You see, including stuff like this is nice because you're clearly showing your process of thinking when you're going through these designs, and then including the thumbnails and the line sketches and everything. That's cool, but there should be a follow up to all of this. Like, you're getting us ready for something. If you don't show anything else and the post ends there, it's like, such a letdown, right? Like, we were expecting some nice development of this piece. I want to know more about this village.
Nice painting or like, some more breakdowns of some of these houses here and like, what is this castle here,
Yeah. Also, keep in mind that this is old, right? It says 2017 there. So that was pretty old. But let's, just for the sake of it, Dom, let's go to the first one, like the latest piece, for instance. So
is it a single image?
Yeah.
I guess he's trying to make better compositional decisions, like framing the shots in a slightly different way now. This is cool. It has like a focal point there with that statue and stuff. He's using lighting and shapes and color contrast to depict it, isolating that from the rest of the image. But
needs more of that needs a dynamic range.
Yeah, some like punch.
That juice.
Yeah.
The contrast. Like some of these values are blending in here. There's not really an explanation why they're rating this thing. So maybe like I think a nice top-down light would draw in the mood.
Yeah. Oh, for some reason, Dom, we can't see your pointer.
Oh.
But that's all right.
It's okay. But
I would say also like us seeing the ceiling over there and having like that open hole on the ceiling kind of makes it weaker, in my opinion. Like if we couldn't see the ceiling, everything was darker, and then like that still existed, having the light on the main piece over there. Like everything is dark and just like this beam of light hitting that little thing there. Maybe it's like not as bright, and you can see like the little rubies on the eyes kind of emitting some sort of evil glow. And that evil glow, like the red light, is kind of what actually outlines the characters or something. Like there's this mix of green glow with red eyes or whatever. I also think that
glowing sky, like the bright sky there, it kind of distracts you, right? From it's suddenly like a lot of contrast over there on top, away from the focal point.
Yeah, and I have the feeling that you wanted to put that there to justify the lighting scheme that you're using, but like, I need to put the source of light, otherwise it doesn't make sense to have like this beam of light on a closed environment. But you don't need to necessarily visually justify everything. Like if you think of this as a frame of let's say a movie or a game or whatever, people moving around on this space would eventually understand that there's probably like a hole on the ceiling or whatever. And
actually,
I also
look at that pillar in the center. There's light coming from the right side, so you could use that as like a beam of light to highlight the statue from a side, which could give you a lot more of that dramatic effect and remove the ceiling hole, and you still have the same lighting effect, and you highlight the same point, and then you give more protagonism to that, and it's about balancing this rhythm across the image,
I think the soldiers should move to the left slightly so it hits on the third.
Yeah,
because they're a little bit too far on the edge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and also the way that you're applying that like green, which has some to be like some sort of weathering or something.
I thought it was paint splatter.
Yeah, I don't see much,
but it's actually like green, like moss or something. I think that's the.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm assuming it's moss, right?
Sorry, I thought you said grain, like the
Oh no, it's green.
The color.
Yeah,
sure.
The color green. Yeah, like moss.
Yeah, it's a little too abstract in a way.
Yeah, I think that you could use some like photo batch training to make that. I mean, if you want to go for the stylized stuff, I would probably
custom
study
shapes.
Moss and then practice that with brushstrokes. I think that's worthwhile as well.
Rather than, because that's a kind of like a tricky one, right? Like just use photo bash, right? then you end up with like very sharp, defined images in this area of the screen, and then it's right. You have to balance it right. So before you do that, I would advise to balance out maybe the saturation, which I think is what's distracting a little bit. Look at the moss at the right side, like the ones that's closer to the soldiers, right? Don't you think that's a little too saturated to be there in the dark? Yeah. Like it's kind of distracting. So if you balance that out, just desaturate that a little bit and it should look better. The one that's in the light should be actually more saturated, which to me right now, it looks like, the one on the left, like the left pillar, the one that's being hit by that light with green and stuff. I think that green should be a lot more saturated instead of just brighter.
Oh man, Dom couldn't contain himself. He's about to.
Fuck it, guys. I guess I'll have to do it myself.
Super quick paint over.
Damn.
But just bringing in like some atmosphere, just boom, it like automatically highlights.
Yeah.
Those guys, bring this over here.
And remove the ceiling just to see what it looks like. The hole, I mean.
Okay.
Just make it normal.
Do some of that.
Yeah.
Okay, they're kind of covered, but like we can even crop it too. Make this little. Oh.
Yeah, because I like the idea of them just coming around the corner, like to this place where, and then you could even add more storytelling. Like why are they afraid of the statue? Like if you have some bodies laying around of the other soldiers that went in before them, like not knowing that it was dangerous, like that could add to the idea that why are they so afraid? Why are they so like cautious approaching the statue?
You could even show us, if you put a little soldier there in front of the statue being like electrocuted or some shit, like we're clearly experiencing what happens if you get near it and why these ones are being so cautious. And that's storytelling right there, In this one, there is storytelling, of course. They're being very cautious and stuff. But you have very little to no context, right? Other than the overgrown scenario and stuff, which is just depicting how ancient this place must be and stuff. That's nice. But if you could just, this exact thing, create that rhythm, right? Like big soldiers closer to the camera on the right side, and then smaller soldiers a little farther away, which just helps you sell the space as well, like how depth, and
the silhouette can make him pop against the right.
You instantly create a lot more variety in like
maybe they're on this side.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm running
out
of words.
Like in terms of concept art per se, there's also, because right now like you're making a keyframe, but if you want for this to be a concept piece as well as a keyframe, I think you need to invest in showing the materials a little bit better too. Like the stone, it looks like stone. What kind of stone is it? Like the walls that are made of. If there is gold on that statue over there, like make sure that it looks like gold. Like bring a reference for you to paint on, like with, and use that as a benchmark for you to show how the light is working on that gold part. What is the green material, right? If it's jade or any other material, like how would that look? What is the pillar made out of? What is the ground made out of? The moss thing, like I understand that it doesn't have a lot of if you are thinking about like in terms of the terms that you would use in 3D, right? Imagine the bump map that it will have on the pillar, right? It needs to come off of the pillar a little bit because it's sitting on top of it as well. So all of those things, if you're thinking about concept art, they would inform the 3D guy that would make this space on how to build it. Because right now, they know the shapes that they would need to build this thing up, but they don't have any other information other than that.
You might have to just draw it out or like model it better, like for a side asset,
Yeah, actually, like that's the useful part of 3D, right? Like if you're only focusing on design, 3D can give you a lot of the information in terms of like visual communication for free. So you can worry about designing the space, and then picking like the material shaders, and they will take care of like 70% of what you need there in terms of material clarity, shape clarity.
Yeah. Also for the composition and stuff, just paint a lot of these in a small thumbnail size, and it helps you kind of create those decisions a lot faster and with no fear, because it's just a tiny little scribble, right? So just test a lot of stuff there. If you want to use value, use value. Kind of hold back from using color in the beginning and just stick to the black and white scheme. And then you just keep scaling from there, you know? If you like number 5 from the 20 sketches you did, then just make it big and just keep painting on it. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. And then I would also say, like, for those next images on your project, like, save that page of thumbnails that you did, you know? It's cool for people to see that you're trying things out, not just going for the first thing that comes to mind.
Absolutely.
All right. I think that covers it.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
For
moving to the next one.
Just wanted to say, like, if you do work on these advices and you produce new piece, let us know. Like, it'd be awesome to see.
Tag us somewhere.
Show us like a new feedback. All right, Manic.
Let's go, Manic. What do you got?
All right.
It's all
so far
environment stuff.
Yeah.
Awesome shots.
That what he wants to do is pretty clear, I think. Like, just from looking at it. Okay, he's an environment concept artist. That's like his focus.
And he's already working at a nice studio, right? DNAG.
Yeah. That's good. But if we want to like push portfolio even further, you know, and like get a voice or like more opportunities, then I think there should be more pieces like filling up these gaps here.
But I think these are full projects, right? Like, if you click on any of them, you'll see, like, the Mongolian one, I remember, it has plenty of additional designs and shots and stuff. Click on the Mongolian one. Yeah, you'll see. See? Yeah. A lot of design sheets, thumbnail explorations.
That's a great portfolio to show people that like, you are relying a lot on design abilities. So you don't have a lot of that, like, extremely beautiful lighting, super narrative storytelling pieces, but you are actually like designing that environment. So for people that are stuck doing like keyframes and that sort of thing, like, this guy got a job, you know, like, he got a job designing stuff. So
I think, maybe some of these could be a little bit more cohesive.
Click on the one with the big giant tree and those platforms around it. Flower City exploration.
It's a unique concept. I think it just needs more life. Like, there's
if we take
this
example in particular, it's exactly what Dom just said. It feels like empty. You know, like, there's no one around. There's no movement, no life. A lot of houses, a lot of stairs, a lot of platforms, but no one to use them.
Yeah. And it's just also populating people.
Yeah. I remember seeing this piece before, I think. Anyways, I remember that what I said about it before, so I'll just like repeat it. It does seem to me like you came across a kit bashing kit and like just threw it together. I would like to see like more integration between the constructed pieces, like the man-made stuff, with the nature. Just because, to me, it seems like one didn't influence the other, while what we see in real life is that people build things in a way that is basically incentivized by the environment around.
They follow the needs, right?
They follow their needs. And they develop like cultural ways of doing things around the environment that they grow on, right? So if this is a world with like gigantic trees and gigantic flowers and like everything is super huge and you need to walk like long distances and like go to extremes vertically, what did these people develop as a easier way, other than just like going through endless stairs to go up? Like, wouldn't we see, even if it was like hand pulled elevators, like lifters or anything like that? Wouldn't we see like little platforms that would take objects in a quicker way towards the other levels? How can they leverage the height of these trees to, let's say, do something easier? Or I don't know, right? Like,
Also,
you need to think about how the people would live over there.
What are some of your thoughts on the functionality perspective, on this? Because I see some polls kind of like not going anywhere.
All right.
You wouldn't have any idea how that holds itself, like the whole weight of those platforms.
Yeah, this platform would probably collapse because this weight is
remember,
really heavy.
We can't see it. Can't see your cursor.
Oh yeah, you're right. So this platform right here, I think it could use some additional weights or something.
Yeah,
or
but
even if it was,
what if he counters that by saying
he is trying to hold it through the ropes?
Look,
like
guys,
he has some ropes on the top of the thing.
Yeah, they don't
but
seem too tense though.
Functions.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. Like, they don't have tension in that.
Yeah, it needs like a counterweight or like a support.
And then if you have the ropes like holding them, like imagine how cool it would be if you had like a pivot point and those things that are lifted up every morning, and then like at night when they are going to sleep, like they closed it off, and you can show like a night, like, I don't know, maybe gigantic birds fly through these things and they destroy them.
Some enemy.
They hit it. So you can kind of like hide them away, or I would also like integrate them more into the tree itself, right? Like I would like to see the space where those get connected, like some parts going into the tree, holding things together, different materials, not just like the wood.
Yeah, like this integrating to this, and then
also, I don't know if this is being
beams here
too nitpicky, but those very beams you're kind of touching there, Dom, shouldn't the paint over stuff be a little more integrated, like at least on pair with the 3D stuff? Because you see all this perfect shape and stuff, very well defined poles, and then the hand painted ones are just like blobs.
Oh, this
almost. That one or the one on the right, right there. Yeah, those ones. You see, they're kind of wobbly.
Looks like I thought it was a shadow or something.
I thought it was a shadow too, but from where? I don't know.
Yeah, like the flowers, like especially the ones in the background, like they have that 3D smell to them.
I think these could be taken out, honestly.
Did you say 3D smell? That's nice, bro. Really on point with the flower thing.
Well, the actual expression is 3D stink. But I thought it would be too rude.
Because it's a flower, right? So it must smell nice.
No. That's
my
not it.
dude's a poet.
I do. Alex, a good friend of mine, he has that saying, like, take the 3D stink out of things. Because the thing is, if you want the same level of finish everywhere, or at least if you want to approach this as if you were actually painting it from scratch, one thing that we do as painters, we have like specific focal points of our images that have more details. We have ways to focusing our viewer's eye through the painting method. And 3D, because it renders everything like with the same level of importance, it takes that out of it. So you want to make a piece that, even though you use 3D, it doesn't look like it, because everything that I do is super intentional. So that's like where that idea comes from. Like, if you want to look at it and not like be jarred by how much the 3D comes through in the piece.
Yeah.
Even though you used it.
Because that can give you
not to use it.
That can give you some issues with like depicting the scale of this place. Because you can go two ways, right? Like, it can look like a normal set, but like we are tiny, so we're kind of like, these people are like ant-sized people, or these people are normal people, but these trees are really huge, right? And there's that's why I'm saying that, like, there's two ways to go about this, and it's about that atmospheric perspective thing. Like, depending how much you put in there, it'll look like a macro shot or like a normal shot of a giant place.
Yeah, so, even that the flower on the right hand side, like, I would make that like huge,
That should
covering
be
up
huge.
most of the
very close to the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Very close to the camera, like almost touching the character. It's like a flower that comes from out of the screen and like has this little round leaf there.
Blow it up, Dom. There you go. Yeah, something like that, even bigger.
And like, if you want to show even more storytelling, right? Maybe there is a guy over there harvesting something from that the leaf, And the city is almost like a background of this like cute little life moment of someone in this village is like doing whatever they do on a daily basis.
Merchants kind of exchanging goods, or don't know, people moving from here to there. If you seem to be
people walking up here,
aiming for some elevator stuff, like hand pulled, like Andrea said, or something, bridges between the platforms. I don't know, like anything you can think of that could fit this narrative right here, because there's a lot of potential in this.
Maybe the scale of these ropes might be a bit big, because if these people are, these are the stairs and people are like maybe this tall,
those ropes are like a person thick,
Yeah.
Like they would have, a person would probably be like this tall.
Yeah, but that that's always usually the case with these giant scale shots, which is the scale itself. Like the reference of scale between certain elements doesn't really match, and then throws you off, and you don't really know why, but there's something that's like wrong somewhere, and you can't really pinpoint it. And it's usually these things, tiny little details like that, just go a long way,
Like this would probably be maybe this small.
Yeah.
Like the railings,
Yeah.
Yeah. And then again, like add tension to the ropes, right? And if they are that big and that strong, like do you need like that many to hold this thing together? Especially if it's wood, right? And then I understand that they're trying to make the platform look strong by having that blocky shape to it, but like a triangular shape that would maybe leave as it gets close to the edge, it becomes lighter, right? Because it doesn't need that much strength to it. So it would be kind of like a triangle shaped thing towards the very edge. I think that would help in two ways. It would make for like more interesting shape in general.
Yeah.
But also it will help in terms of function.
So just to sum it up, like give purpose to each thing depicted on the screen. Yeah. Because look at that arch over there, like what's that supposed to be? Like an entrance, like an exit? Like it screams for some...
This one?
No, the arch. Like
the top left.
Oh, this one.
Top left.
Or,
also that one, yeah. I didn't even notice that one for some reason, but yeah. Like, what's the purpose of that there? It seems to be like a door, like a gate or something. You're crossing somewhere. Where? Like, you're just falling to death there. So there should be like a platform or something, like an elevator. It's a perfect opportunity for...
So we could have like a flying ship. Maybe it's a dock that goes to this gate.
You see, there's no limits, man. Like, you can just integrate anything you can think of.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? All of those ideas, they would come from the story that you're trying to tell. So if you have a very cohesive story from the beginning, right? Oh, I want to depict like this place. And that initial idea will give you reasons for everything else. And those reasons will need to be shown visually there. So like you will not just be building the platforms. You'll be building the platforms of these people that build ships that like actually fly. And that's why they have like this naval kind of theme going on with the ropes and everything. And I don't know, maybe they use those leaves as the sails for the ships. Like, look, it's cool. Completely endless, but they would come from the storytelling.
Yeah. Let's just check some of the other pictures just to see if this is an ongoing pattern, or maybe this was just an isolated piece.
This is the 3D render. This is the final.
Yeah.
So you can tell there's a lot of the 3D that was kind of just left in here, and like a little bit of mist thrown on, and some stuff here, but it wasn't pushed as far as it could have.
Yeah, let's see very quickly, because we're burning through all the time that we had for this one already. But You see that one with the
I'll
giant...
kind of like to see the first one too.
Yeah.
Just because the most recent one.
This is 3D render. I guess this is like a continuation from like this.
If this is the 3D render... No, this is the final, right?
Yeah, this top one is final, second one is 3D render.
So not much has changed besides like maybe some mist.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? Like, but perhaps that was his intention. Since we don't know, because we don't have any of that information besides like, hey, tell me how to get better, how to improve my portfolio. We assume
but also,
that...
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The other thing is, again, the people populating the environment.
Oh, right.
I mean, if you're already using 3D, how hard it is to find some 3D people and put there as well. Like if you're not, if you don't want to paint them, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I like funny enough, I like the final, like the bottom piece the most.
Yeah, this one's nice. It has some.
Yeah, I think that you need to paint more. You are relying a lot on 3D, man.
Yeah, paint, draw, just the basic fundamental stuff, you know.
And don't be afraid to like paint over like the 3D stuff with things that were not made in 3D, you know. Like don't be afraid to ruin the 3D piece underneath it.
Yeah, click on the next one, Dom. Like that one, the red giant. Yeah, see this one, for some reason I like this one.
This one feels nice.
A lot more. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's something, maybe it's something in those clouds or I don't know.
It's all painted.
Yeah.
But it feels
painted,
nice.
There's people.
There's people. Yeah, there's silhouettes.
Story.
Clear depiction of depth. Like I can understand the scale because of this guy here close to the camera and those tiny little people back there. That's nice. And the concept itself, which seems to be something that Manic likes to exploit a lot, which is to blow up like tiny sized objects to huge scale like this. Isn't that like a fruit? I think so, right?
Yeah,
dragon fruit or something?
Dragon fruit or something? Yeah.
Making it up. But yeah, so that's nice. That's totally fine. But by adding people, something we can relate to, we can instantly tell, I see. Now I understand what the scale of this is.
Yeah. Or like an animal or...
I don't think that like this little cloudy thing, I would like to see the reasoning for that too.
Oh, like, I think that's just because it's a sulfur mine, you know.
Yeah,
but like I would like to see more like little areas, and then like because right now it feels very exaggerated on the like behind the dragon fruit thing.
Oh, right.
But I would like to see the origins of those be more individualized, you know.
Is there
like,
nothing else?
I have this.
If you scroll,
who's that thing?
I think it's just the process.
This process. Yeah. Okay. Yeah,
but
so seeing
because
those little sketches really helps, you know, like the thumbnails, the line drawing and stuff.
And then like if you see a bunch of small little holes that eventually make a gigantic cloud, I think that looks a little bit better than just like there's the big cloud there and it comes kind of out of nowhere, right?
Yeah.
I would like to see the ground having a lot of those holes, and then that would help even more with like differentiating the planes, you know.
Definitely.
Even on the plant itself.
Yeah, overall, I think just finding more cohesion as well, like bringing all these pieces together.
Yeah, and if you use
like
3D,
a common thing.
like just one last thing, Dom, click on the giant rock, like it looks like meat or something, like that thing with the
this.
Yeah. See this thing? Yeah, I don't. I was getting Attack on Titan vibes or something, but oh, there's a compilation of them. Nice.
This is cool.
Yeah.
This is sick. Oh, these are some.
Oh man.
Some explorations.
Some AIs.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Like it's
base render.
You know, he's including reference, so it doesn't matter if it's AI or photo or 3D or.
This was brought to this, so he changed it up a lot. So that's cool.
Like as long as it doesn't influence your idea, like any reference, I guess it's all right. But my point was like if you use 3D and you use textures and stuff, then you got to find a way to balance out the level of detail of that texture in the focal point and the level of detail of that around the image. And I'm going to use Dom's examples here because what he does is like he draws the attention towards that focal point by focusing the most amount of detail there. And I think that's being called just detail distribution, right? And
it's like 2080.
Yeah, the surroundings are kind of like loose, and I'm not saying paint like Dom. I'm saying it's the same structure, you know?
Yeah.
That's how a good image looks like, because there's something that has more weight to it. And in this case, it's clearly this giant structure there, like a monolith or a monument, whatever that is.
Yeah, so these trees shouldn't be as detailed as the monolith thing.
Yeah,
like
probably not, but it's not a problem.
Those rocks.
It's not really a problem. It's more like there's detail kind of like all over that rock, all over it.
Oh yeah,
everywhere.
So maybe like concentrating on the center piece of detail.
Maybe concentrate around the door and less on the top. You know, because there's no reason.
I didn't even notice there was a door there.
So if there, if that door seems to be like in a nice compositional spot, then focus the detail around it. And I understand that maybe you want to show like the rock, exactly what's covering Dom right now, like what he's covering. Maybe that's exactly what you wanted to show, but then you would have framed this picture in a different way.
And then I understand the idea of these trees being like extra straight, but I would also like try to maybe tilt them a little bit more.
Yeah,
have the branches more intentionally placed.
The building is already pretty vertical, so
yeah,
you don't need more trees.
Because you want to create that contrast, right? You want like the whole landscape needs to be more horizontal, so that the super tall, straight vertical building would
exactly stand out,
be more like of the contrasty part of it. And then for the door itself, I almost want to see like some either light coming out of it or have it be even darker than it is right now. Maybe you have like some runes that people drew around the frame of that door or something that we can see. I don't know. I kind of, it just went completely over my head, the fact that there was something there.
Just drawing these branches so it like maybe leads our eye towards this thing, because the branches are just pointing up to somewhere.
I think there's a bit of noise with that bridge thing far in the distance.
Yeah.
Like I'm not sure why. No, the other one.
Or
that
one
further behind you.
Yeah. Because it kind of like creates a bunch of noise there that see, this works better. You didn't remove it. You just, pushed it a little further.
I would also put another bridge like towards that right thing, the thing on the right hand side, like the one that is way further back, just like
this one?
I can't see your cursor, but the one like way in the back, like on the right hand side, right next to the tree.
Or no. Wait, this one.
The rock,
yeah, like a tiny little one over there, just to show like, oh, this bridge is actually taking from one gigantic building to the next, to the next, to the next.
It's just atmosphere and lessening this detail and then putting more emphasis on this. But yeah, that's all it needed. Just some mist up here.
Yeah, it's just slight touches that can easily fix any of this. But yeah, we hope this helps.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Next one.
Move on to the next one. Wait. Take this off.
Okay, so this guy just sent like one piece, right? So I'm assuming that we need to take a look at only that piece instead of the whole portfolio.
So these are all assets, right? Or is this the piece?
So that's the piece, but it does look like a collection of assets, right?
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the first thing.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. But okay.
So it's an elven burial ground. Okay. And I assume... No, I don't know what to assume. Like,
so I was taking a look at that piece like for a few minutes. And this is what I got from it, right? You have these maiden figures that are surrounded by the tombstones. And
each tombstone has like a radial pattern with more tombstones around it? Or are those people?
I think that's the whole idea, right? I think that each individual thing is a tombstone, because you have the collection like way down on the piece. Like if you scroll through the pieces, it has the bash kit that he used. Even down, and like Yeah, like that's the. So he did call outs for the 3D pieces that he made, right?
This feels way more energetic.
Yeah, exactly.
than the 3D render, because this, even though it doesn't have as much contrast, like it's still like his artistic expression.
You should have tried to respect.
Taking over.
Yeah, you should have tried to respect your idea of the shot with the 3D and find the right settings with the camera and everything to make it like this. Because this, in my opinion, and I think we can all agree with this, this one looks better than the 3D.
Yeah.
And it's just the perspective, the dynamics of the. I think, you know what helps a lot? We're seeing less in this shot. The other one's like a mosaic in a way. Like it's overcrowded with a lot of tiny little things everywhere in general.
A lot of detail here and there.
And this piece that it looks like a wall piece, like just a little square thing. I don't know what that is, but it's everywhere. It doesn't make too much sense. It was not on the original 2D sketch. In my eyes, that's just like subtracting from the whole idea of it, you know?
Yeah, I don't think
I like
it
the idea of like little centers where the tombstones are centered around, right? That we have on the sketch, and like scatter them around the piece. But on the sketch, you have like 3 of those. On the 3D piece, you have like, I don't know how many, but there's a ton.
And also look at this piece. Look at the path. There's like a path among the circles, right? And that's, is it missing in the final piece? Can you just go up there to the first one? Yeah, you see, there's no pathway. No, exactly. I mean, there are, but it's like the top half of the image in the far distance. But I'm talking here. You know, like you could communicate this. If you're using this circle pattern thing, you should incorporate that to the whole composition and connect those circles somehow with these pathways and stuff. And those walls that Andrea was talking about, I don't know, like if you just squint your eyes a little bit, all I see is just blobs of like light against dark, right? But they don't seem to me, they don't seem to make much sense in a way. Like I get, they could be like murals of some sort, like some artistic representations, although we don't see anything on them.
But why
maybe it's on the other side?
Look, you see like the piece on the center, like the biggest one.
Yeah.
Why the culture that would make such a beautiful and intricate piece just have murals that are like square pieces, like square blocks? They would not, you know, like that. That doesn't make too much sense with that culture. And then what it seems to me the mistake was that like you built this whole collection of 3D assets and you're like, oh, I want to show the scale of this thing, so I'm just going to put a ton of them there and I'll forget about the 2D idea that I had that looked awesome.
Yeah.
You know,
this is awesome.
Probably one of those
when
cases.
less is more, you know, I think that's
exactly. Yeah. It's one of those
cases.
Feel
that this could use maybe some more dynamic shadows, because everything's just all like a bright light, you know, maybe just having some shadows and light that cuts through the left side or the right side, you know, not that bright, but like maybe some light just cutting in.
He seemed to
then
go
you see the little statue right in the center, like that gets hit by a little piece of.
Because he seemed to
sunlight.
go for like the sunset lighting, so that's perfect for this.
And
then you just draw like a rim light on the statue. There you go.
Yeah.
And that becomes instantly your focal point. And then you can see
the great thing about this. Yeah. The great thing about this is that like you see the design of it. So the main statue, the tombstones around it and all of that. And the other ones after that, they just need to be hinted at. They don't need to be there, you know, like they are just an illusion of the scale, you know. You have like little hints of it afterwards, but the design is actually on this one in the front.
Yeah, like that.
Oh, Dom, like I hate you, man. Like you painful. What the fuck?
You just have like a person walking through this path, you know.
Yeah. And then
I'm
like
not
those
painting this guy
massive
well.
buildings at the back, like they can be like pushed further back as well.
Yeah, like with atmosphere, you just take the lighten. And then this already creates like some depth. So maybe something right here. Maybe you can like put this on this side. So it hits that kind of area. I don't know. Just like, yeah, concentrating that light towards this area.
And that's a bit clearer, right? Like,
I was just going to say, like we said, less is more. And it seems to me that when you show even though we're supposed to know that there's a lot of these circles in this area, by showing us one of them from up close and the rest of them scattered across in the distance, we understand that this thing is massive. And then there's a lot of these things around. And you don't have to show them, like all of them, like in that 3D shot from like a more boring camera angle, where we can clearly see each and every single one of them. We can see it like this from a more human perspective. We're almost like at the same height as that guy over there.
Yeah. So that's it. And then if you wanted to, okay.
I just want to say, like, the idea that we are like actually criticizing the 2D sketch instead of like the 3D final piece tells you something, right? Like you're relying too much on the 3D on the final one. You are actually becoming like a hostage of your own 3D piece, and instead of controlling it, you're letting it control like your decisions.
Yeah, you could just, leave everything sort of loose out here and then like detail this statue and detail the person up even more. So the rest can just fall in the background a bit.
There you go. Nice.
Kind of starting to read, but just needs that.
Yeah, remember to keep turning your image black and white every now and then, because it helps a lot with the value distribution and everything. Because color can be tricky to interpret sometimes from a value perspective. But when you turn it to black and white, it just, it's there. And you can clearly see if there's something missing or not. Also, something that I don't think I do enough is to flip the image horizontally. It helps to, because right now you'll see how tilted everything is towards the right side. So just copy the whole image and do the same thing with the whole image. The same transformation thing you did there.
Copy? Wait.
No, I just transformed the whole image.
Tilt,
that's what it is. Like,
tilt the
everything is tilted towards the right.
Oh, free transform.
Yeah. Grab it from there you go. More to the left. Even more. Because look at the tombstones.
Oh, you want the tombstones to be straight, I see.
Yeah.
I thought they were intentionally tilted.
Yeah, to create that dynamic flow, I guess. But
yeah, but you know what I mean, right? Like these little things. This is stuff you can notice when you flip the canvas.
And it's kind of tilted this way now.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just doing that, and
they were like most of it warped in that in that strange way.
Yeah.
So yeah, nice job.
Cool.
Good job. Both the author and Dom for the paint over.
Yeah, just need that dynamic lighting.
I like this analog before and after kind of animation. Before, after. Yeah, you see also
the sketches are dynamic.
Yeah, seeing this thinking process is really cool as well. But even in these sketches, the value structure is kind of missing a little bit. They're too flat in a way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Even in the one he chose, the one on the right side at the bottom, because that was the thumbnail for this piece, right? There are people, right? Why the hell are they missing in the final shot? Yeah. So.
Okay, so take your time with your piece, like take it to a finish. I think
yeah. All right.
Okay.
Last but not least,
one.
Richard.
Let's go.
Sigma.
Richard Sigma. Let's see what he's got.
This one has vehicles. I like him already.
It has a little bit of everything, I would say, but it's more leaning towards the sci-fi thing, right? With the hard surface design.
Except do you guys smell this?
Even the dragons.
It's the 3D stink coming through. I'm just messing.
Can you smell it, guys?
There's more sci-fi up here, and then there's like some fantasy in the middle.
No. But even the one with the dragon seems to have some sci-fi element to it, isn't it? Or are those lights actually like some glowing amber or something? I thought those giant eggs were some. I don't know.
There's a green piece that I think like that one is the one that I want to see.
The World
dark,
of Vines?
No, the other one, the green and dark one. Like that one looks super cool from the thumbnail. Oh, not that one. It's on the bottom, right next to a super red one. This one called Awakened. I think that looks
this one's cool. I dig it. Just nice like focal point here, but I think like they're too far out to the left. Like my eye wants to go off to the page or off to the left side. So if we just scoot it more here, like see, composition can like make or break.
But maybe
I think the composition on the thumbnail looks like super great because it focuses more on that little piece of light that we want to actually look at.
He could highlight the background like behind that character running, the second one, the one that's more in the center, and dim the light on the left side a little bit more. So then it positions that girl. I think it's a girl, right? In that center.
This is the raw render, so it's not really changed as much.
Another hostage of 3D. We need to rest with them, guys.
It's a lot of 3D.
This is a thumbnail. Is that but it's a napkin sketch.
Different.
He took it to the next level.
So we have a lot of imagination. I like that.
Okay. He took the rough word from rough thumbnail quite seriously with this one. It's really, really rough.
No, look.
But it's enough for you.
I really think that
if you get the idea with this, that's all you need.
But the secret here, I think, for this one is to actually, again, like paint over 3D, the planes are not as well defined as they could be. If you have that super strong green light there, why it is not like outlining the rock where the guys are like running on top of a little bit more. I would like to see that, like, imagine that little green light is actually highlighting a whole diagonal through the piece,
Yeah, I get what you mean.
The background actors.
You should silhouette this platform they're running on a lot more.
Yeah. And where is the light coming from?
Yeah,
is it something dangerous?
So it continues all the way to the right side of the shot.
Yeah, and kind of fades, right?
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Let's look at the other pieces.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Like, how about this one?
This one feels exactly what we talked about before. Like the scale is just, I'm not buying it, Like it looks, don't know. Like those things that are supposed to be in the distance, they don't seem to be as far, which sells me the idea that this is a tiny place.
There's a lot of like 3D here and then just painting here on the sky. It needs to integrate like well with the sky and the environment.
Yeah.
Because
the assets
right?
Look, the assets are really cool. I'm not gonna lie, they're really cool looking. They're textured and everything. It's amazing. But then the execution of the final piece is, I think, what's like doing a crazy disservice to this idea.
We also need more context on
You also did that whole like garden thing, triangular garden thing, and it just seems like it's like stamped on top of the rocks instead of being
adapted,
intentionally placed. Yeah. So like if you have the idea that those like parted gardens, I would actually, instead of just placing them on a triangle and having them there, like, what are these people doing? Are they like cutting the rocks and then placing them on top? Are they like following the shape of the rock that it's already there? I don't know. It seems to me that these people would actually carve in the rock their own buildings. That's why the buildings have the same like color of the rocks themselves. There would be a mix between like taking pieces of the rocks and using them to build extra things. So it's way more integrated. And why would they not do that to the gardens and like all the cultivation stuff? And then on the right hand side, you see a building just like right next to the rock. Why isn't that like more connected as well? You know, as if it's partially extracted from it, partially carved onto it, leveraging the landscape that they have around them.
Yeah.
To create like this super strong and resilient buildings.
So it's usually a problem of integration of the design with the geology around it, right? With the landscape.
It's almost as if it was two, and I'm guessing here, right? I don't know for sure, but it's almost as if you had a two-part process where the first one was, let me design like some super cool architecture stuff and build them in 3D and whatnot. And then when you wanted to do a painting out of those, we're just like, let me just grab some rocks from Quixo Megascans, put them together,
and you adapt to that shape there, right? Instead of creating it yourself.
Yeah, you don't actually like mix them because they were not made one thinking of the other, right?
Yeah. So if you start,
and photo textures.
If you put yourself in the shoes of the people living in this imaginary world you're trying to create here, think of what came first, the people and then the land, or first the land and then the people and the buildings, right? So if you start that way, you kind of create if you use 3D, like let's say you sculpt like this giant mountain and stuff, then you stick to that with your buildings and you craft the buildings based on that shape, which is what Andrea was talking about. That building on the far right side, which is sitting right, like should be in the shadow of that rock. Then you would have integrated that a lot, blended with the environment a little more, like make it connect somehow. So is the connection.
And it's super jarring because it's like a piece of light on the shadow of the rock, right? So that's why our eye goes there.
Yeah.
And then there's like, this is the design side of things. And the painting side of things is the whole like, oh, the clouds don't match. Like the rocks are super 3D. The clouds are more painterly. And you don't have a lot of atmosphere.
Also, don't be too like caged in the idea that if it's a render, so it's technically correct, the perspective and the lighting, but still, like from a visual perspective, let's say, I'm aligned with Andrea on this, and I guess with Dom as well. Like, we would like to see that building on the far right side in shadow for some reason. Like, it's that contrast, bright on dark. Mm-hmm. So it is distracting. And if you want to focus the attention on the thing that's in the center, then that's where you should focus that. You should direct all that contrast a lot more over there.
There we go. Okay.
With
Grab
shapes.
the popcorn, guys. It's started.
Let's go.
Okay. I want to point one thing out for everyone. Notice how Dom is fixing things with painting. I like the idea that people are learning 3D. I like the idea of them like developing other skills, but it's like pretty clear that almost all portfolios that I saw today, the biggest issue is that you're using 3D as a
crutch.
Yeah.
Like you're relying so much on 3D that you.
I like that.
Yeah, just knocking it back. This doesn't even have to be detail. It can be a graphic
That's what
shape.
I was talking about. Forget about but this is a desert landscape, so there's not supposed to be so much humidity in the air, so we can't have that. Fuck that, man. Like, sell it. There's games like, I think Assassin's Creed Origins or something like that. Don't know exactly. I forgot. But they have the same thing, right? You have this city landscape from far, and there's this bluish tint in the atmosphere that shouldn't be there in real life, but it works perfectly well because it's an entertainment project. It's for fun, and it's not supposed to be scientifically accurate. It's supposed to be eye-pleasing. And if you want to do it like scientifically accurate, then you have to solve a lot of other problems before that. But in this case, what Dom just did here was to simplify that and push it away.
Also, like one thing that you can do when you're doing this kind of paint over, and I encourage people to do that on their own pieces. Think of the shapes that the shadows are forming, the shapes that the light shapes are forming. Like all of those will help because we have this sort of like diagonal angular shape being formed. Those can help you, like to get the 3D to a nice looking painting. Because if you're just painting, you would focus on like each step, right? You focus, let me see the lights versus darks. And then after that, like that whole thing is sorted, the values are sorted, the composition sorted. That's when you would get all of the details and all of that. But since you are using 3D, the detail is coming before anything else. So the shapes and the composition, it's almost like an afterthought, it seems like. And it shouldn't be, right?
Yeah. Also, use the very things you've created here, like for instance, the clouds, right? Look at the first thing Dom did was to make us believe that there's clouds blocking that light and carefully distributing it towards, like, according to your needs. Like, what do you want to highlight in the scene? Then use that. Use the clouds. Put shadows in the areas you don't want to highlight and leave the light kind of hit all the pieces you want to highlight. And that's it. It's quite like simple.
The sky shouldn't even be that blue.
Oh yeah, it's very oversaturated.
Yeah,
too much.
Mm-hmm.
But you need like reference. You got to look at some sky reference of like aerial shots in the sky.
It also looks out of perspective. The sky itself. Like it should be a little brighter on the bottom side because of the way we're looking at it. Right. That's the color of the sky when you're usually looking quite at an angle, like up, like a little more.
I almost wanted like this very white faded cloud, like right in front of the city, on the foreground.
Like here,
yeah.
Maybe there's like a cloud.
Yeah, because we're somewhere like so
very
high
wispy,
in the sky. Yeah, that there's like literally clouds among this place.
Because like you can, because then you can hide all of that foreground and really focus on the city itself. Like you don't need to, like you can take a smudge brush and just like smudge the hell out of it.
Yeah, stylize it as you want.
Yeah.
So yeah, see how it changes so much now. Where do you look now? What's the first thing you see now?
Yeah.
Is it still the thing on the right? No, you look at the damn thing in the center, right? Especially that tower.
Damn thing in the center.
Especially the
That's
tower.
the technical term, guys. The damn thing in the center. Please stick to that terminology.
Sorry, I can't be like academically correct on this.
I'm just messing with you.
We learn from the streets, right? But yeah, you understand. And if you still see, even at this point, remember, by flipping the canvas or turning the thing black and white, if you still see problems, then you keep solving them. Like, for instance, I have a feeling that this very tower up close to the camera is kind of catching too much of an attention here. So unless you want to turn that into a secondary point of interest, then you should remove the lighting from there. But I think what Dom did works well because it provides you with some more dynamic lighting. There's not a single light of beam shining through the image. It's like several of them, which helps support the idea that there's clouds that are, organic and natural in shape, and their forms kind of block the sun this way. So even more mist, more, it's like more depth.
These clouds are just, distracting.
No, I'm just saying, like, it's worth noting as well that if we were to paint, to give this guy a paint over, like the three of us, we would each paint it in a different way, right?
Probably.
There's no necessarily right way to finish it. We would just be all fixing the same issues. That's the thing.
It's just the fundamentals.
Ways. Yeah.
That's the main thing.
We're sticking to the things that are, let's say, universally present.
Yeah.
I feel like this was distracting when I do a thumbnail view.
Oh yeah.
Like this here.
Yeah.
Do you
It's like-
have the before and after?
Oh wait. That's before.
Yeah.
Guys, please paint more.
Andre's begging you.
Yeah,
Just do it.
I actually am though.
I'm not gonna be as nice. Guys, paint more. No, I'm not asking.
Okay, paint more or get the hell out of here. No, look, here's the thing, right? Again, I like that you're all super excited about new tools, and I do think 3D has a huge value to it. I'm not saying not to use it. I'm just saying like learn how to control the tools that you're using. Like 3D is like a dog. When it's well trained and well behaved, it's super great to have around. If you have a aggressive dog that takes over everything and attacks the friends around him, not that great, dude. So
basically,
right now 3D is attacking every other area of your art skills.
Don't let the tools make you, because the tool doesn't make the artist. So it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you know the roots and the, let's say the fundamentals of everything. Then you'll be good with no matter what tool you use. Even if you use 2D or specifically Photoshop or Krita or Procreate, it doesn't matter. Or then Blender or 3ds Max, it doesn't matter, man. Like it doesn't matter how you integrate those things together, as long as you know the fundamentals, because that's what's gonna set. Oh, I like what you're doing there, Dom.
Bam.
It seems to always work.
Storytelling.
To sell the Bam, storytelling.
Wait, that guy doesn't have a stick on his hand.
Yeah,
that's
I was just going to say,
storytelling.
You should just add a little figure with a stick.
There you go.
Concept art.
Yeah.
But
at least
about it. Right?
Adding something, in that third helps. I feel.
Yeah, and probably adding people in general.
Yeah, and then I would add like the actual enemy army coming from behind the castle. So it's actually going to be a battle in the sky.
Maybe even
more.
It's
like the common trope. People. Like people are just missing people. Artists.
I was thinking of maybe indicating some pathways, that people usually follow. Some beaten paths somewhere. But if they have these specific structures designed as like paths to connect the buildings and stuff.
I think that's the path. Yeah. I think in the original one, those
it's not needed.
Columns,
but I was still thinking of something more off the charts, maybe like something that's non-official. Right?
Oh,
like
so
unsafe,
you mean the path that they took through the rocks to get on the plants, like the cultivation thing?
Or
that would be more integrated.
Or even or even paths to lead you somewhere off screen, unknown areas, like, there's more, right?
Mm-hmm.
But not perfectly built paths like this, something on the rock.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is plenty, Dom. Thank you for the paint over.
Yep. And overall, I think just there's some pieces that can be gone, I think, too, from the portfolio.
Like that's a great piece of advice. Yeah, to
just omit.
Yeah, tailor your portfolio. Just take a good look at it and decide which ones are the weakest. Why are you keeping those in there? Like, what's the reason? If you come up with a good one, then fine. But if you don't even know, then just take them out.
Sounds a bit busy.
Yeah, it's lacking some of that atmosphere we talked about. Even though there's here's the thing, right? There is atmosphere, just in the wrong areas. It's in the corners of the image. It's not separating the vehicles from the background.
When I look from a thumbnail, this ship is blending into the mountain.
Oh yeah,
so all of them are kind of like blending. Right?
Yeah, I can only tell the golden parts. Yeah.
I think that's the main thing there. Yeah, look, in general, like rely less on 3D. And if you're using 3D, don't be afraid to hide things that you did there. Like, I understand that people spend a lot of time on 3D to make things look beautiful, but if you really want to give each piece a super extra highlight to show how much time you spent, do callouts. The painting need to be like the actual painting. Like that need to be the main focus, even if you hide things that we did on 3D.
Yeah. Just put the paint over everything, pretty much. I mean, you can leave some 3D stuff in, but like majority of it has to come from your expression as an artist.
Yeah, and then choose to keep or to remove certain pieces depending on how you value their presence in your portfolio, right?
Yeah, like omitting stuff that's
There's
not
one
really...
over there. Look at those circles. Like both of them are rather the ones on the left with the monks.
Oh, these ones.
Yeah, two very similar pieces, right?
Yeah, they're both together. I don't know if they belong to the same project, but
yeah,
maybe
what
they
I
do.
tend to do, it's like each time that I add a piece to my portfolio, I remove the worst one that is left there. So like it keeps a decent amount of them, but also nothing that I would personally not like think it reflects my current abilities. So
yeah, it's like choose one kind of subject matter direction and like flesh it out more. Yeah, because there's like sci-fi, there's fantasy, there's like post-apocalyptic or something, alien, dragons, monks, spaceships. So
I mean,
like, choose.
I think it's totally fine to explore, right? See what you like, see what you enjoy working on more. But eventually, what you want to see from an artist in a way is their capability to stay in line with one project or one theme or one subject matter. Yeah, the consistency side.
Yeah.
So let's say if you chose that desert landscape thing with the buildings that Dom did a paint over on.
Oh, these ones.
Yeah, I mean, look, that painting you just clicked there, that could be integrated here too.
Oh yeah, because it's kind of the same.
And by the way, look at the sky.
Sort of breath.
Compare those two blues.
Oh,
Isn't this one
feels more realistic?
Yeah. Doesn't this one click a little bit better?
That piece is nice, actually.
Yeah. So you can continue.
Feels stylized, yeah.
You can include that here. You know, you can develop like a series of thumbnails or key shots, keyframes, and depict that world.
Maybe this is a different section of this place. Like maybe it's on the other side of these rocks, and this is like the kingdom or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would like to see that the rocks on the city being that orange with little hints of cyan and blue and turquoise.
You know, I was just going to mention that too. Like the hue variation could be a lot more present in the one with the buildings, the paint over that Dom did. Because it's all like pretty much just that yellowish. See, here there's a little bit more of that hint in the shadows and everything. But if you just keep it that flat, it looks just that, you know, pretty flat. So, yeah, I guess this covers it for today.
Yeah. But good work overall, you guys. Keep improving. Keep working on stuff. Don't just call it done when you feel like your portfolio is done. Just always know that you can keep adding more and refining it over time.
And compare your pieces to things that the people that you admire, you know, the pieces that you admire. Like have a benchmark of what you want to achieve. That will help you fix the mistakes on your own pieces.
Yeah.
Cool.
We can't see your camera anymore, Dom.
You can't? Nope. That's okay.
No, we can only see your screen. I think you're not sharing the camera.
Yeah.
It's all good. Well,
thank you guys. Thanks for submitting your work. Just keep working on it, you know, keep at it. Don't stop, don't quit, and just do your best, man. Like, just try to enjoy every step, because that's what matters, rather than the destination, which for a lot of people tends to be like, oh, I need to get that job. What gets you that job is not thinking of getting the job, but thinking of ways to improve your work, because that's what gets you the job, And within the improving your work dynamic, there's a whole range of different steps and different branches of that same tree, which are like staying consistent with one theme, one topic, or working on a piece like I see a lot of environment in this case, right? So think of ways to explain this to a team that has to develop that in 3D animated. How do the things you're developing their work? If they have different stages that happen over time, show them what that looks like throughout that whole sequence, right? Which means that you have to increase the load of how many pictures, the number of pictures you have to show them, and just just keep thinking about it from the perspective of a team, right? Unless what you're aiming for is to be an individual, independent artist or something, but usually, what we tend to see is like people trying to get into a team, to get to work at a company. Yeah. And you have to think that way. So get ready to work with someone else. If you have no one else to give you any critique or any feedback on this, you have to be that person for yourself. I don't know about you guys, but that was just me years ago when I was starting out. I was pretending I had someone, some superior, some art director kind of telling me like, no, I don't like the character like that. I wanted to have the shoulders like this and the pads this way, and I wanted to be in this place, not that place. So you make those changes to your work depending on what you expect those people to tell you. So
you have to be your worst critic in a way. Be a little bit harsh on yourself, or on your work at least,
Or the world will be. So.
Oh yeah. They'll run you into the ground if you're not prepared for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Guys, leave a like and a comment on the video. Let us know what you guys think. And
cool. See you next time.
Yep. Take care. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
See you guys.